guys are from? Could you drop in your city, your country? I see US, Switzerland, Dallas, SF Bay Area, New York City, Oregon, Tennessee, California, Florida, New Jersey. I see a lot of people from the US. What else? Pennsylvania, New York City. All right. Somebody's like Purdue University. Okay. Michigan. What else? Where else are you guys from? That's pretty much it. I see hundreds and hundreds of people here. I would love to hear from everyone. New Mexico, there you go. All right, incredible. I see people from all over the place here. Brilliant. So my team has turned on a poll, guys, as we get started. My team has turned on a poll. You'll see a few questions there. Do fill in the poll because this really does help us or help me to kind of streamline the overall session to make sure that it is relevant to everyone. I could take the right use cases and whatnot, right? But as we get started, I had one more question for you people. We would get started like probably in like a couple of minutes. That what got you excited about joining this session? What got you excited about joining this session? Pratham has an interesting question. Is this you or AI? Well, you would know very of AI optimization, knowledge. Somebody says, I heard free breakfast. So did I. But we've been serving online. Did you get it? AI knowledge. Okay. Automating my duties. All right. Interesting. So that you can chill. Love that idea. What else? Upskilling, of course, newer answers. I'm keen to look. I'm basically looking for newer and newer answers here. You want to be a visionary, simplified implementation, scaling of business. Very interesting. All right, awesome, guys. I see a lot of people here to accomplish quite a lot of things. So, without further ado, should we get started? Let's go in the chat and we will get started. Let's go in the chat and we will get started. All right, as we get started, wanted to do a very quick 5-second intro. My name is Vaibhav Sisanti. You can call me V in case you cannot spell my name, and I totally get it because all my ex-colleagues were from Mexico, US, Japan, and all those places, and everyone would call me V. So you guys can call me V as well, just in case you can't pronounce it. And I'm going to be the host and your teacher for this session. And turns out that I'm also the founder of Outskill, and my team kind of got me, my team kind of convinced me to do this session for all of you people because we see AI is changing the way. And we thought it would be great for us to get you guys get started. All right, should we get started? Was the introduction good enough? Should we get started? Yes, lovely. Guys, one request as we get started is that I would really appreciate if you guys are extremely expressive in the chat as I ask you a question, because that's the only way I know that you guys are, around listening to me on the other side. All right. So would be great if you guys could be responsive. Are you guys with me? Yes, yes, yes in the chat. Let's see if all your keyboards are working. All right, brilliant. Let us get started. I'm going to turn off the chat because I don't want to get distracted either. Brilliant. Here's a fun fact. 99% of the people who think that they know how to use tools like ChatGPT have no freaking idea what they're talking about. And I'm not even asking this. I'm telling you this. And by end of the session, you would know why what I'm saying at this point of time. So let me ask you a serious question, right? All the people, how many of you guys think you know ChatGPT? Let's forget about chat. Let's forget about AI. How many of you guys think what ChatGPT is? That you guys know what ChatGPT is? I know I don't know in the chat. I know I don't know in the chat. Okay. Very interesting. I see everybody is playing the game of defense right now. Nobody's saying I know everything. Everybody's playing the game of defense, and I love it. I love it. But you know what? We're gonna change the game all over for you guys. Don't worry about it. So when I ask this question to a lot of people, right? Do you know ChatGPT? Like, yeah, dude. Of course I know ChatGPT. What are you talking about? I use it all the time at my work and whatnot, right? And then I end up asking a follow-up question to all of them. Now that you told me that you know what ChatGPT is, can you tell me what ChatGPT projects are? They're like, projects? What do you mean by that? Do you know how to turn on ChatGPT Canvas? It's like, what do you mean by Canvas? Do you know how to get into the GPT store? They're like, what is GPT store? And that is where all the questions come in, saying, you know what? A lot of people actually think they know what ChatGPT is. How many of you guys knew what I was talking about at this point of time? How many of you guys knew what projects are, what Canvas is, what GPT store is? You see, that's the whole point. And I'm only talking about ChatGPT right now. I'm not even getting into the world of artificial intelligence per se, right? That is the world we are living in. You see, AI as of today or as of right now, and I hope this stays like that for some time, is the fact that AI is currently your friendly intern. Yes, it is a very, very friendly intern, but it is also the smartest intern that you can get. Do you guys agree that AI is like a super smart intern, right? But this intern could only work or could only help you out if you allow it to work for you and you give it clear instructions. And that is how you get AI to work for you. But you know what? As we talk about the fact that AI is an intern, this wouldn't be the case for a very long time. And the reason why I say that has a lot of evidence, and I'll get right into it, right? My prediction is that, and this is actually not my prediction now, it's prediction of a lot of, very influential, very knowledgeable people. I've probably a small reflection of that, is that 4 out of 5 jobs in the next few years are going to go away. And I hope I'm wrong about this, but AI and AI agents and all these systems are going to take over a lot of jobs. And this is going to happen in the next 2, 3 years, whether we like it or not. And you know what? When I say this has already started. We have already started to see layoffs happening everywhere. So, what I want to do in this workshop is that when I say 4 out of 5 jobs are going to go away, that also implies that there's going to be one job out of 5 that would continue to stay, right? But that job is something that I want all of you guys to gun for. So my job in this workshop is to equip you with the right skills so that you guys level up to make sure that you're part of that 1 out of 5 who continue to thrive in the ecosystem, right? And that is what we are doing in this workshop. But when we talk about that, right, when we think about that one person who's going to continue to have a job, and we double click on what is the difference between the person who's going to continue to have a job and the person who will not have a job, who will lose the job, is the fact that the person who will continue to have the job is going to be someone who is so freaking good with AI that he's almost like a 10x individual. That person is fundamentally able to do the job of multiple people all by himself or herself purely because they know how to use AI. And this, my friends, is happening right now as we talk, right? So, how do we make sure that we are part of that? So, this workshop is designed to get you started to be part of that winner groups. So, I have a question for all of you people. How many of you guys here are winners? Winner in the chat. Winner in the chat if you guys are winners, right? My job in this workshop is to put you into the bucket of winner group. Now, a few people might be like, dude, don't worry about it. I don't need a job. I'm a founder. How many of you guys are entrepreneurs, freelancers, or founders here? Me in the chat. In the poll, I could see a few. Me in the chat. Or you could say you're a founder, consultant, or whatnot. All right. The bunch of people here. Well, you might be like, dude, I don't need a job. So I won't lose a job per se because I don't need a job. I give jobs. Well, here's the thing. For you to give a job, you continue to run the business that you're running. And with AI coming in the picture, if you don't level yourself up to be AI native when it comes to execution, it's going to become really hard to compete against those people who actually are AI native. So it's in a way, when we talk about job, it's about what we do today and what we continue to do tomorrow as well. So introducing the AI for yourself framework, we call it AIY. So if you want to be in the winning group during all this massacre that's going to happen because of AI, you have to be part of AIY, which is AI Yourself Framework. Now, let me break down. It's a very simple framework that we came up through. First, I came up with a framework to help my people out. By the way, I'm the founder of Outskill, and we have about 150 employees, right? So I first came up with this framework for my employees, and now I'm kind of trying to put it out there so that it can help out a lot more people. In this, it's a three-step one. Step number one is to have a very good understanding on what generative AI is and how can we make it work. Yes, how can we get the most out of AI? And there's a method to the madness. And that is what is about step one. The step two is about now that you know what generative AI is and how you can communicate with it. Well, the reality of AI is that there are a ton of models out there, right? There are a ton of different models out there, and we are often confused. There's something called as 4.0. There's something called Gemini 2.5 Pro. There is something called as O1. There's something called as R1 by DeepSeek. What are all these models? Do I really have to care about all of them? Or do I pick the right task for right models? Is there some way the perfect combination of the right task with the right model? Something that you need to learn to be able to get the most out of AI. That is step two. And finally, we're not done with it. The step three, essentially, once you pick the right model or assistant, you have to build your AI toolkit. What do I mean by building your AI toolkit? There are hundreds of AI tools which goes beyond of your, chat GPTs of the world, Geminis of the world. Now, you have a bunch of tasks that you do on a daily level, right? How do you fine tune your AI toolkit in a way that most of the tasks that you do on a daily level could be leveraged or could be done much faster using the right AI tools? And how do you find these right AI tools is something called as the AI toolkit. So it is your own personal AI toolkit, and you design this based on the tasks that you do on a daily level. So this is the step three. So step one is that we get to know what generative AI is and how to make it work for us. Step two is to figure out and play with all the models so that we know which model to use where. And step three is all about finding your AI toolkit. Well, if you have no answers to all these questions, don't worry about it. This is a workshop that solves for you, and I will help you to execute this framework perfectly well so that you guys could go out there and win the world. Right now, like I said, the whole workshop is designed for this. And when we do this, framework, right, I will end up teaching you 25 plus AI tools because I don't know which tool you would be using, right? So I would want to teach you 25 plus AI tools so that you can pick the right tools for you and get going with your work. But here's my promise: by end of this workshop, yes, by end of this workshop that we just started, maybe that'll go on for like next couple of hours, I will make sure you're 10 times more efficient with AI than you are right now, saving hours of time that you get on a everyday with respect to work. And of course, right, skyrocket your productivity, essentially get you started to become a AI rock star. That is my promise. Now, I want to be super frank. In the next couple of hours, if the expectation, I want to set the expectation right as well. If the expectation is that we is going to cover everything that is out there about artificial intelligence, and he's going to make me an expert in AI, well, sadly, that can't happen in a couple of hours. It's going to take much longer. But what I promise to do is to get you started. In this workshop, we will basically cover a lot of things over the course of next, 120 minutes, right? But that is still going to be the tip of the iceberg. Towards the end of the workshop, once everything that I planned to, the whole framework is taught, I will also talk about a very interesting mastermind. Yes, I will talk about a program that you could enroll into once the workshop is done after a couple of hours. And I'm going to give you a heads up as well that I'm going to talk about this program and you can happily drop off. All right. But that way I can give you a starting point. And also for people who want to, go ahead and, go deeper with AI, you have a solution for that as well. I want it to be absolutely upfront with all of you people right away. But the next 2 hours is going to be a lot of fun. And over the course of the time, right? If you ever feel that, hey, dude, I know this, well, there could be a few things that you could know. So have some patience, stick around, because there are going to be things that you would not know, and things are only going to get better as we spend more time. Okay. So stick around, have patience. Trust me when I say this. This next 2 hours is going to be probably the best 2 hours ever spent for you guys. And I'm going to ask you this question towards the end, and you can answer me the same question as well. Right. So I mean, we have spent a ton of time. You can see the content for 2 hours, but this is essentially 50 to 60 hours of work that has gone inside of this to make sure you get great 2 hour show, right? And you learn a ton of that. And that is what we're going to do. So as we get started with the workshop, I wanted to give a quick disclaimer. Please set your phones to silent. I'm not going to repeat a lot of things. So if you're missing it, you're missing it, and you're not going to get a recording either of this session. Two, Eliminate all the distractions. Just focus. If there are multiple tabs open, just close all of them. Trust me when I say this. You're not gonna regret it. 3, have a pen, paper, and a water bottle so that you don't have to jump around and move around and whatnot, right? 4, AI is evolving at a speed that is unprecedented. So the things that I'm going to teach you today, just in case if it goes outdated in the next few days, in fact next few hours, please don't tell me anything because I can't do much about it. That is how fast AI is moving, right? While again, like I said, while it is impossible to cover everything about AI, I will do my best to give you as much as possible. Recording of this session is not available, and something that is definitely available is that all throughout this session I'm going to show you a lot of tools. I'm going to use a lot of prompts. We are going to share all of that with you towards the end of the session. So you have to stay till the end of the session. We will share the link which you can access it. Now, if you guys drop off and write us an email saying, can I have the resource? Sorry, we will not be able to share. So if you are keen, stick around. We will not be dropping emails or anything. Stick around till the end. You guys will get all the links of everything. All right. With that being said, for also those people who stick around, we have a very cool bonus for all of you people, which is the 50 plus prompts and a list of AI tools that you can play with. All right. Again, we will be sharing these links towards the end. Awesome. Without further ado, now that I've given you the full context of the framework that we're going to learn, the kind of things that we're going to explore, and how this workshop is going to be, let us get started with the real meat of it. Right. And for that, I need a hot word. There's a hot word that you will hear from me quite a lot, which I'll be asking you to put inside the chat. And that acts as a fuel for me, right, to keep it running. So drop a boom in the chat for us to get started. That's the hot word. Boom, BOOM in the chat. I will get the fuel to get started to give you guys an incredible show today. And as you drop the booms, I'm dropping some real caffeine inside of me as well. All right, let us get started. Awesome. Like I said, step number 1 is for us to understand what is generative AI and how can we make it work. You see, most of the people, like majority of the people that I talk to, they think generative AI is equal to ChatGPT. Okay. And that's where the world starts. That's where the world ends. Right. When I asked them, like, hey, do you know about AI? I was like, yeah, man, I'm a pro. And I was like, oh, is it? Oh, what do you know about AI? They're like, oh, I know ChatGPT. You know what? There was this beautiful poem or beautiful little words that I wrote for my dog, and my family absolutely loved it. And I got it done by ChatGPT, dude. I know it absolutely slayed. Well, that is actually not what AI is, right? It's just a tool. It's just an assistant that you're playing with. But most of the people sadly think AI is ChatGPT. AI is this incredible technology that's going to change the way we live it. It is the fuel of the future. It is bigger than internet. It's bigger than anything that we have come across, and we're going to unveil it. And for people who are going to leverage it are going to win, right? So the best way for making AI to work for you is to understand something called as prompting. That is the first skill set that I want you guys to learn on what is prompting and how can you get AI to work for you if you do prompting in the right way. In the simplest way, if I want to explain prompting in the simplest way, right? So prompting is a way for you to talk to AI or talk to generative AI assistants like ChatGPT so that you can get great outputs back. Now, while a lot of people say like, hey, prompting is just English, right? We just say something and we get an output. That is true. But there's a way to talk to it. Though it is in English, there's a way to talk to it. And that art of talking to these AI tools to get incredible outputs is called as prompting. Prompting is what separates someone who thinks they know AI to someone who can actually get AI to work for them, right? And today we're going to learn how to do prompting the right way. Now, when it comes to prompting, right, there are a ton of prompting frameworks that you can use, like zero shot, few shot, chain of thought, self-refine, style prompting, symptom prompting, diverse prompting. There are a lot of prompting techniques on, yes, these are all in English, by the way, but these are very different structured prompts to get great outputs from AI. Now, I can't cover all of this because just covering this will take us like good 12 hours. So what I'm going to do is I have a shortcut for all of you people. And the shortcut is I'm going to share one of the best prompting structure that would work for most of the use cases that you might have. And that, my friends, we at Outskill call it the magic prompt formula. Now, let's start playing with it, okay? Let's start magic prompt formula to get started. So the task that we have is to write an email to 10,000 subscribers, inviting them for a generative AI workshop. This is an email that you want AI to do for you. Okay. So what do you go and ask AI? What would you type into, let's say, ChatGPT to make sure you get a great output like this? Let me know in the chat. What would you type inside of ChatGPT to get a great output? Let me know in the chat. What would be your prompt, guys? Whatever you say, I'm going to type it out. Okay, write email that will go to 10K people, inviting them for my class. Very good. What else? Any other options? If none, I'm going to pick this answer that I'm going to get. Okay, I got one answer. I would love to see more answers. Write an email to for 10K. Okay. Someone says boom. Okay. What else? Put them up on the chat. Okay. I see mostly similar answers at this point of time, right? Everybody is like, write an email, invite people into email, write a professional email, write a marketing email. There are different kind of prompts. Need who, what. You see, all of them that I'm getting right now are very similar. I see that you're thinking about it, but they're very similar. So I got the gist, right? And let me write out an similar prompt that you guys are saying, right? So, guys, usually I'm very, very lazy and I never write things anymore. I just speak and AI picks it up, right? And I use a very cool tool for this, which I'm going to talk about towards the end as well. But I'm going to say, write an email inviting 10,000 of my email subscribers to the generative AI workshop that I'm doing this weekend. There you go. This is the prompt. Let's try it out and see what do we get here. Okay, it says here's a crisp, high converting email, and it gets started, right? The weekend, learn generative AI, no tech skills needed. Hey, first name, I'm running a free live workshop this weekend. Whether you're in marketing, product design, what will you learn? Date, time, cost, insert registration link. Guys, how much would you rate this email from a scale of 1 to 10? How much would you rate this email from a scale of 1 to 10? It's not bad at all, actually. I just asked generate an email and it did a pretty good job, right? Pretty good job, I would say. It's perfect. It talks about an intro. It talks about what will you learn and whatnot. Well, do you want to make it better? Do you want to make it better? Like a 100 out of 10? Yes. For that, you need to use a prompting framework. And like I said, it's called the magic prompt formula. And for you to get great outputs, you have to use a prompt, something like this. It says you're an experienced email copywriter who has written for brands like Ogilvy. Write a launch email for a new workshop of Outskill on generative AI, inviting them to the workshop. Make sure the copy is over the top fun, designed to resonate with an audience of 25 plus, trying to figure out their way around ChatGPT. Focus a lot on users working in marketing, tech, product, and design roles. Talk to them about interesting things that we'll be covering and include a review from someone who said that the session was a no-brainer. This is the prompt that I would write. Now, what is the reason why I'm writing such an extensive prompt? Let us first see the output, or in fact, let me talk about the prompt first, and then I'll tell you why we wrote an extensive prompt. Right? The reason why we wrote such an extensive prompt is because it follows something called as the magic prompt formula. It has 4 sections to it, guys: context, task, instruction, and data. The first line that you see, right? You are an experienced email copywriter who has written for brands like Ogilvy. You see, tools like ChatGPT are general purpose tools, right? And when you ask it to write an email, it's not going to use the best skills of how to write an email. It's just going to do what it thinks is right at that point of time. But the moment you give it context by saying that you're an experienced email copywriter who has worked for brands like Ogilvy, it's going to be like, oh, I'm an experienced email copywriter. So it's going to go look up all its knowledge on how an experienced email copywriter writes and looks up for how people inside of company like Ogilvy used to write, right? So it sets up context. It takes up a role and it behaves like it's an experienced email copywriter. And then we say, write a launch email, which is the task. right? Whatever we mentioned there was the task which we mentioned right here. Then we give some instruction and data. You have to talk to AI, explaining them who your audience is so that it can write content that resonates with that audience. As a result, I said, make the copy fun. I talk about the target audience that I have, which is 25 plus year old. And it focuses a lot on marketing, tech, product, and design because those are my 10,000 email subscribers. I give all this instruction. Now, I told you, remember, AI is like an intern, but it's a very smart intern. If you give it more context, the kind of output it will give is going to blow your mind, right? And that is what we did here, right? And let us see what kind of output do we get right now, considering we have entered a prompt like this. Now, look at this. You signed up. Now, here's your official invitation to have your minds blown. Ready to make ChatGPT your unfair advantage at work? Hey there, you signed up for the generative AI workshop with Web of Facility. Nice move. Now it's officially time to dive in. This isn't your average how to write prompt clubs. Prompt clubs. No, it is a full-blown productivity and career upgrade disguised as a 90-minute banger of a session. Guys, what do you think of the copy right now from a scale of 1 to 10? Do you think the output has 10x right now from the last email to this? 10x in the chat. Whether you are in, I love the 50x's also. Whether you are in marketing, product, tech, and design, you're still asking ChatGPT basic stuff like write a blog post, summarize this. You're barely scratching the surface. It's like the email has come out in a way that it just listened to everything that I spoke just now, which is insane. And there you go. You see a bunch of things that are covered. Here is what is others saying. Here the date, time, da da da, and see you inside team out skill. You see, that is the crazy part, the kind of outputs you can get. You see how we changed the prompt and the kind of output we got. This is the power of prompting. So guys, which prompt formula did we use to get this prompt right? Which prompt formula did we use right now to write such an extensive prompt? Does someone remember the magic prompt formula? And it has context, task, instruction, and data. Feel free to take a screenshot, and I'm going to share all these prompts with you towards the end so that you guys are not missing out on that. Now, as we talk about this, can I be frank? I often don't use ChatGPT for writing anything. You know, when it comes to writing, there is a better free tool for writing, and it's not ChatGPT. When it comes to writing, a very good free tool actually is Claude. Claude is a equivalent of ChatGPT, which is freaking good when it comes to writing. And the free version itself is more than enough. The Claude 3.7 Sonnet is the name of the model. It is again the free version. Now I'll send the same prompt. You guys can decide what you like. I usually like the outputs of Claude when it comes to writing. Okay. You can see this, it's defining an artifact and start generating. Look at the pun here, right? You're in. Well, almost. Hey there, future AI wizard. You've been chosen to join the Sisinti's exclusive generative AI workshop, where we turn ChatGPT confusion into career-crushing confidence. I don't know. What do you guys like more? This email is too long, I feel. So I can just say make it shorter. But which style do you like more? Do you like this style or do you like the ChatGPT style? What do you guys like more? This or the ChatGPT style? Okay, Claude style. I prefer the language of Claude better, but okay, interesting. But again, right, feel free to. So one more thing, right? Every time you try to get results from AI, one quick tip is that try to actually get multiple AI tools to work with you, right? And try to compare results and see what works for you the best, right? So I just made it. I just said make it shorter, right? And you can see that it's redoing the whole copy by deleting everything. And it will make it much more crisper. I love this. Marketers, create killer content in seconds. Tech bros, build faster, debug faster. Product peeps, generate user stories instantly. Designers, endless inspiration, create in images. What all you'll get? I mean, it depends. I think it's very, very preferential is what I would believe. But yeah, you guys can go ahead and see what works for you. Perfect. Perfect. Should we carry on right now? Yes, in the chat, guys. Now I like Claude. Yeah, you have to play with it. You basically have to play with it. Now, how many of you would love to learn how to write cold emails? Yes, cold emails using AI. Cold emails, anyone? Me in the chat? Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. For all the people who have no idea what cold emails are basically what it basically says, right? These are emails that you send to people who you have never met, requesting them something to a person who's a complete unknown. Let's say when you get an email from, let's say you're a founder. As a founder, I get a lot of emails from people requesting for jobs. These are people who have never met, but they write me an email. If you're running a business, you would write a lot of emails to people uh, asking them if they would consider to hire you guys to get the job done. So these are all cold emails, right? But for you to write great cold emails, there's a problem. You have to research a lot about the person and the company to be able to write great cold emails. Now, like I said, I'm the founder of Outskill and Growth School, a few businesses. Let's say, hypothetically, you have to write an email to me looking for a job. What do you have to do? You have to sit and spend and understand what is Outskill, what is Growth School, who is Web of Sisinti, do some research about me, put all this information together, and then start writing an email. Because the email is not personalized, I'd be like, dude, like nobody spent any time. Like the person whoever is sending this email has spent zero time, is probably sending the same email to everyone, and I would just ignore. But if I feel that there is effort that has gone into this email, I might as well spend more time to understand who you are and probably get a chance to talk to you. Right? I'll probably give a chance to talk, right? That is why personalized emails is very important. But you know what? When it comes to personalization, you have to spend a lot of time. But the beauty of AI is that, in fact, tools like ChatGPT is that this has new features inside of it, which can actually research about a person on the internet and write an email for you. For example, this is what I would do. Let's say if I want to write a personalized email, there's this option to turn on search button. So I turn this on and I'm using the free ChatGPT right now. And I would write a prompt like this. You are an expert when it comes to writing cold emails. Write a cold email to the founder of Growth School, requesting him for a job as a chief of staff in his company. Make sure when you write this email, you research about Growth School, you research about the founder, and also try to include a couple of social media posts of the founder inside of that email as you write the cold email. So you see, that is the prompt that I've written. I mean, of course, I just said it out and it converted that into prompt. Of course, I didn't apply magic prompt formula here because I'm just trying to get this done faster, right? For you to get an idea. Just because I turn on the search button, I click on the send. Now look at this. AI will search the web on my behalf, will read up what Growth School is, will read up who I am. It automatically pulled up my picture. That is, it researched about me and my name. And you can see this. Hi, WebHub. I hope this message finds you well. I've been following your journey of Growth School's evolution with great admiration. Your transition from launching Discovering Android in 19 to founding Growth School is truly inspiring. This impact have made in edtech space, especially with over 4 million learners, is commendable. One of your LinkedIn posts deeply resonated with me, and it kind of quotes that LinkedIn post as well. You see how personalized this email is. Something that could have taken a lot of time for anyone to do this research about any person could just be outsourced to AI with the right prompt. Guys, don't you think this is powerful? Powerful in the chat. You're getting AI to research on your behalf and write a freaking personalized email. Something that would have taken you easily 3 to 4 hours. And all I had to do is simply toggle this freaking search button, and that's pretty much it. How cool is this? Right? Yes, absolutely. Awesome. So that is how you write great cold emails as well. Now, all this is great. I wanted to teach you a concept of something called as chained prompting. And I thought one great example to give you would be to help you out with job hunting. How many of you guys would need a AI workflow to help you crack jobs faster or get interview calls faster? Me in the chat. Me in the chat. Okay. All right. Let's get right into it with chained prompting. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you the process here, right, on what we're going to do. Essentially, what we are basically going to do here is we're going to get AI to basically read our resume, get a very good sense on what is on our resume, and rewrite that for a job. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay. Let's go to ChatGPT and I'm going to ask a prompt like this. Using the summary, generate a sorry, my bad. This is not the prompt. I copied the wrong prompt. There you go. You're an expert in marketing. I would like you to review my CV and generate a summary that highlights the most impressive parts of my resume in bullet points. Now, if I can attach my resume, which I don't have it ready, clearly because I run a business right now. So let me just download my LinkedIn profile. If I go to resources, click on save to PDF, it allows me to download my resume as a PDF. There you go. I mean, my LinkedIn profile as a PDF. So I'm just going to attach that here. All right. There you go. I've attached my resume here and I say, you're an expert in marketing. I would like you to review my CV and generate a summary that highlights the most impressive parts in resume in bullet points. That is all I say. Now, what it does is AI kind of goes through the whole resume and gets a sense of what I am, what is my profile like, and everything. Right now, let's say I want to apply for a job. So let's go and look for a job. Let's say I'm looking for okay, growth hacker role in San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, I see a bunch of roles here. In fact, I'll just look for a marketing role. Let's say. Say I change this to San Francisco Bay Area. There you go. Okay, this is interesting. OpenAI has a role which calls the startup program marketer. Okay, so let's say I want to apply for this job. Now, how many? I'm sure all of you guys believe when I say this that if your resume is personalized for a job that you're applying, the chances of you getting selected for the interview is much higher. All right? Do you guys agree? Whenever you're applying for a role or a job, if you're personalized your resume for that specific role, for example, if you're applying for startup program marketer, if you personalized your resume for this job or for this role, the chance of you getting an interview is higher. Now, that is what I'll get AI to do. I'm going to copy this job description right here. Okay. I'm going to come back to ChatGPT. I'm going to paste the job description and I'm going to attach it with a prompt. And the prompt goes something like this. As my career advisor, I would like you to reword the CV that I've just given you. Please tailor it to the following job advertisement to maximize the chance of getting an interview. Include all the keywords mentioned in the job, organize the structure, summary, experience, and the method you deem desired. So what have we done? In step number one, we attached the resume and we asked AI to summarize it. Now it knows very well what our resume has. Now we are like, listen, here's your job, here's a job description of a job role that I want to apply. Can you personalize the resume for me? And now that it has my resume and also the job description, look at this. Guys, drop a boom in the chat. Right now, what it is doing is it is rewriting my whole resume just for this job role. It is rewriting my whole resume for this job role. And you can see this AI does an incredible job. Insane, right? This is the process of chained prompting. You continue to prompt to it till you get the outcomes, and you can do this like a multi-step. Yes, just like a cake. It's easy as that. Okay, let's say you got this resume and you are one of the smartest cookies out there to personalize your resume, apply for the role, and you ended up applying for 20 different roles, and you didn't even read the job descriptions properly, and you got an email from the recruiter. Dude, you have an interview in a week's time and you're like, oh man, I have an interview. I'm not even prepared. I don't even know the kind of role I've applied for, right? How do I prepare for the interview? So this is the next step that I'm going to take. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send a prompt like this. Let's say I have an interview in a week's time. I need to prepare up for this interview and I just personalized the job role. I didn't even read the job description. I got AI to do everything. As a result, I would send out a prompt like this. I would like you to create a table with 3 columns. The first column is the experience required. Next is the list of any desired experiences for the job. And 3 is to rank them particularly from an experience of 1 to 10 on what is very important for this role. So what I'm saying in this prompt is that, listen, now that you have my job description, you have the job description and also my resume. You did rewrite my resume and I'm very thankful for that. But can you also tell me what was actually not present in my resume, but you did feed that stuff so that when the interview happens a week later, I'm prepared for it. So tell me the things that I have to level up based on the job description. And here it gives out a nice little table. Look at this. experience required, how can I improve it, and how important is it? It gives me the whole table by comparing my resume and the job description, just like a career advisor. It says, you know what, dude, your experience with sales enablement content and VC briefing materials is lacking. This is how you can improve. And how important is it from a scale of 1 to 10? It's a 9. So you better prepare for this. You see what we are doing? Direct experience with API product marketing and translating technical launches. Again, this is a skill that is needed for the job, but was not there on my resume. But now I have an interview. So I better be prepared for this. And how can I prepare it? Prepare for it by reading AI APIs of OpenAI Stability or Hugging Face. How important is it from a priority order? 9 out of 10. You see what it is doing, guys? AI is literally comparing my resume and job description and giving me insights so that I'm well prepared for the job interview. How crazy is that? But you know what? There is one step. There is one more step that is missing in this. And that is, I have done all the preparation. That is all great. But I'm not ready for the interview. I wish there was someone who could do a mock interview for me. I wish. Well, you don't have to wish. AI is there because there is this nice little voice mode button that you can see. If you tap on it, AI can act like an interviewer for you. And let me show you how I do that. All right. You know what? Now you have the resume, have my resume and the job description as well. Can you act like a very, very, very tough interviewer and ask me really tough questions one at a time, mimicking a mock interview for me? Could you do that?
Absolutely. Let's do a mock interview. I'll start with a tough question to challenge you. Vivav, you've had impressive success scaling Growth School and other ventures. However, this role at OpenAI involves translating complex API product updates into startup-friendly insights. Can you walk me through a time you had to simplify a highly technical product for a non-technical audience, and what was the impact?
Well, I do this all the time because at Growth School, I also teach and I teach generative AI. And a lot of people who actually attend our sessions are those people who don't understand technical information, right? So it is in me, and I do this day in, day out, breaking down complex stuff and simplifying it for an audience who is very non-technical. So don't worry, I'm going to ace it.
That's a solid example, and it's great that you do it routinely. Now, let's move on to another challenging question. OpenAI's startup program marketer role requires building and maintaining strong relationships with VCs to drive founder introductions. Can you share a specific instance where you successfully built and leveraged VC relationships to benefit a startup community or a project? And what was the outcome?
Well, here it's funny that you asked me because for my last company, I have raised $5 million of funding. And on top of that, for all our learners, we keep doing partnerships all throughout. So I know how to manage VCs pretty well.
That's a strong background and shows you're comfortable working with.
Guys, what do you guys think of that? We gave AI our resume. We gave AI our job description. It did all this analysis that is needed. Now we eventually got AI to literally do a mock interview for us. How cool is that? Isn't this insane? Now imagine this. If you have an interview, you have a freaking date. It doesn't matter. You could use AI really smartly to make sure it is asking you really, really tough questions. Right? And you be very well prepped up for the interview that's coming up or for the meeting that's coming up. You guys having good time so far? We are just getting started, obviously, but are you guys having a good time? Drop a hell yeah in the chat, a yes in the chat, so that I know that you guys are having a good time. Incredible, incredible. Guys, things are just gonna get better, so don't worry about it. Awesome. Getting right inside. We're gonna speed it up a little because we're slightly going slow. We're gonna speed it up a little and we're gonna get right inside of it. Now that you know high level on what a model works and how they could respond to your instructions, it's time for us to go to the step two, which is there are a lot of AI models out there. When we come to ChatGPT, right? There are a bunch of things right here. What the hell are these? When do I use which model? How do I get the best outcome of everything is something that you need to learn to be able to get incredible output from AI, right? And that is what I want to introduce you to so that you have a very good understanding of all the AI models out there and which model to use where. Now, let's say you had to solve a very complex business problem. You have a very specific use case at this point of time and you need to solve that. Okay? It goes something like this. Okay, let's say you want to give AI a very tough task or something like this. I have $10,000 to invest along with a laptop and internet access for 30 days. I want to start a home-based business that operates entirely online without requiring me to step out. Please provide 3 business ideas, each with detailed plan on how to grow my investment from $10,000 to $1 million. Sorry, yeah, $1 million in 30 days, not $1 million, actually $100,000 in 30 days. The business should not be a service based since I have no coding skills, it should be achievable without writing code or using no code tools. Additionally, the plan should not rely on running ads. I have no experience in ad management. So I've given AI a very interesting situation with a lot of constraints that I can't do coding, I can't do a service based business, I don't know how to run ads, I have no experience in ad management, but teach me. Give me 3 business ideas, AI, with which I can convert $10,000 into $100,000 in 30 days straight. Well, a lot of us, what we do is we end up going to 4.0 and clicking the send button. Right. And you know what? AI does spit out great ideas. It says AI powered Notion template shop. Okay. And it gives you the full idea right here as well. Right. And wow, this is super detailed, obviously. And it tells you what are the steps that you should take, how do you go about it, and whatnot. Right. But there is a flaw when you use a model like 4.0. Because all these 4.0 models are basically text generation models. They are optimized and designed to basically guess the next word every single time. And a lot of times they will often forget the constraints that we are talking about. We want an AI model which can think, which can spend some time understanding our questions, keeping the constraints back of their head, and then answers the question. For this, you need to use something called as reasoning models. For that, you can see this. O3, every model in ChatGPT that starts with O are basically called as reasoning models, right? So let's say in this case, I use O3, right? And I open a new window. And this time I ask the same question to AI. Now it does differently. It says thinking. You see this, it starts saying thinking. What is it doing? It actually is thinking. It is breaking down the task that we have just given, understanding how it can solve for us. And in this case, AI is thinking. If AI is thinking, look at this. It's also telling me how it is thinking. The user has asked again about business ideas with $10,000 capital and no service-based work, like no code, no tools, and all of that. Let's dive into clear plan tailored to the request. It's right now thinking about it, right? It's trying to understand the constraints. And once it understands all the constraints, that is when it will come up with the answer. You can see this. The next step it has taken is the user wants business ideas that uses $10,000 as a capital, aiming for 100K revenue in 30 days without code and all of that. The user wants online business ideas that doesn't requiring stepping out. So everything that we said, AI basically thought for 44 seconds. 44 seconds, understanding a question, breaking it down, and then eventually it finally gave us out a very specific answer. The mega digital template bundle on AppSumo, an idea that you might not even have thought of, is something that came up with and gives us a breakdown on how we could do this. Micro ebook and audiobook factory on Amazon, KDP, and ACX. I have no idea what it is.
A few moments later.
audio overview. I clicked on the generate button. So what it's going to do right now is that it's going to convert all these learnings, all the learning from all these three resources into a audio overview. It's going to sound like a podcast and you can literally listen to it. Okay, so let's give it some time. And very soon, it's going to give us a overview of this. In fact, if it's taking time, right? I just did this some time back. So here you come. I've done this already. It says loading conversation. So let it load, give it a few moments, and there you go. Look at that. We uploaded all the articles here. Now it converted that into a podcast that we can listen to while we are on the go. Let's say we are driving.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really jumping into the world of AI agents.
Yeah, it's moving fast.
Definitely. You hear so much about AI, changing things up. And these agents seem to be right at the forefront, especially thinking about work.
For sure.
We've got some really interesting stuff to dig into.
Guys, you know what has happened here? That is AI generated, by the way. There are two people talking to each other, which is completely AI generated. And it has been generated from the resources that we just uploaded. So instead of consuming content by reading stuff up, you're converting stuff into podcasts and you're listening on the go. Isn't this insane? Don't you think this is
One
insane?
source looks closely at how to, talk to these systems, prompt engineering.
Crucial stuff.
And another discussion focuses on the actual impact, like what are these agents doing out there for professionals, for businesses?
Right. The real world angle.
So our goal here is pretty simple. Cut through the noise, give you a clear sense of what's actually happening.
Absolutely. And, what's really striking from the material is just how fast this is all moving.
Yeah.
The YouTube discussion we looked at, the speaker even told this story.
You know what is the crazy part of this? There is something called as interactive mode. When I click on this, right, I can literally interrupt them. And
Welcome
ask a
to the
question.
deep dive. Today we're really jumping into the world of AI
I
agents.
simply have to
it's
click on
moving
join
fast.
button here.
Definitely. You hear so much about, oh, hey there, what's up?
Hey, what is the right framework or prompting to use when it comes to reasoning models?
That's a fantastic question. It gets right to the heart of making these AI agents actually useful.
Absolutely. And the good news is our PDF source has some really insightful techniques that speak directly to this.
Okay, let's unpack this. When we're talking about reasoning models, we want the AI to think through a problem, not just give a quick answer, right?
Precisely. You want it to show its...
Guys, did you just see what we just did? We uploaded resources. So we can literally chat with it. We converted that into an audio, which we could listen as a podcast. And then if we have doubts, we could interrupt both the speakers and literally ask them questions. This is, I don't know if this is not wild, what else is? If you guys think this was insane, drop a boom in the chat so that I know you guys are with me and you're realizing the value of what you're learning today. Now, I'll give you one more tool, which I think you will really appreciate. You know what that is? How many of the times when you're trying to do something and you're stuck and you don't know how to go ahead and you wanted someone to help you? So you get on a phone call with your friend and you basically screen share and you show them, hey dude, I'm using ChatGPT. Let's say you're using ChatGPT. Okay. Very cool tool, this one. Let's say you're using ChatGPT and you just heard that there is an option called as a memory on ChatGPT and you're not able to find it and you want someone to help. So what do? You ring up a friend and you basically tell your friend, hey, I heard that there's an option called as a memory in ChatGPT where I can give my suggestions to it, but I'm not able to find it. Can you help me? Your friend is going to be like, okay, you know what? Let's jump on a call. I'll probably share you a Zoom link or a Google Meet link and will ask you to share your screen, right? And your friend will guide you because your friend is an AI expert. You know what? If you don't have a friend who's an AI expert or expert at anything for that matter, you can get AI to share your screen with, and AI can guide you with the same. For that, I use a tool called as Google AI Studio. Guys, we're going to share links to all these tools. Don't worry about it. Inside of that, there is something called a stream. And once I go to stream, I can literally share my screen. Let's say I share this one. Hey there, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm right now on ChatGPT, and can
Okay.
you tell me how to enable the memory feature? Where do I go to find the memory feature?
To find the memory feature, have you looked at the settings menu?
Where do I find the settings menu?
On the bottom left of the screen, do you see 3 dots next to your profile name? It might be in that menu.
No, I don't see any three dots. It's loading forever. You can see that. And there is no settings menu or anything here.
Okay? I see what you mean. It looks like it might be at the top right, near the
Oh
temporary
yeah,
label.
I can
Please.
see the top right. Is this the one that you're talking about?
Yes, click on your profile picture. Is there a
Okay.
settings option there?
Yeah, I can see the settings option. Is this the one?
Yes. Have you clicked on
Okay.
settings?
Oh, there you go.
I see.
Personalization. Is this the memory one that people talk about?
It seems that the reference save memories feature is currently toggled off. Would you like to turn it on?
Oh yeah, it is on, I guess. I think this is on. Now it is toggled off.
Great. Was there anything else I can help you with?
Nope, this is helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I have one more question.
Sure. What's your other question?
Well, can you see this article? I'm trying to click on this link and it's not working.
I see the Reddit page with the article titled, Google just dropped a 68-page ultimate prompt engineering guide focused on API users. I also see the link you are referring to. It seems like the link is to a PDF. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is correct. Anyways, thank you so much. I was just joking. Guys, did you just see what we did? We just spoke with AI. That was not a human on the other side. It was AI who could see what is on our screen and was able to guide us to find things. Wasn't that absolutely insane? AI was literally guiding us on ChatGPT. And that was the Google AI Studio. In fact, you can do something else also. If I give access to the webcam, hey there, can you tell me what watch am I wearing right now?
The watch you're wearing appears to be an Apple Watch Ultra with a black band. Is that correct?
Can you tell me which model, which edition is this?
That looks like the first generation of the Apple Watch Ultra.
You're right.
Do you want to?
By the way, what is this? Can you tell me how many calories are in this?
That appears to be a can of Prime Energy drink. Can you tell me what the flavor is so I can look up the calorie count?
I think it's tropical punch. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it now. A can of Tropical Punch Prime has about 10 calories. Do you want to know anything else about the drink?
Oh yeah, I can see it is 13 calories. You're pretty much right. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
Guys, did you just see that? We are literally having video calls with AI and it's able to solve stuff for us. Yes, that is the crazy time that we are living in. Folks, I have a question for all of you people. Do you believe, now that we have gone through this whole experience, I did take 10 minutes more. Do you believe you're 10x better right now than you were before we started the session? 10x better. What all did we cover? We learned what prompting is. We learned about models. We played with reasoning models. We covered 15 different tools helping us with 8 different tasks. And we did